In this video, let's try to understand conditional probability. Say E1 and E2 are two events, and say you want to find the probability that E2 will occur given E1 occurs. So this type of a case is called conditional probability. That is, we are trying to find the probability for E2 to occur on the condition that E1 occurs. This over here is denoted as P of E2 given E1, and P of E2 given E1 is equal to probability of E2 intersection E1 divided by probability of E1. Let's try to see how we derive this. What is probability of E2 intersection E1? We know that probability is favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes, right? So probability of E2 intersection E1 is the same as outcomes where E1 and E2 occur divided by all possible outcomes, right? And what is the probability of E1? That is outcomes where E1 occurs divided by all possible outcomes. And these two can be cancelled, and we see that we are left with outcomes where E1 and E2 occurs divided by outcomes where E1 occurs. That's what is mentioned over here. It's mentioned that probability that E2 will occur given that E1 will occur. Therefore, we are limited to the total number of cases where E1 occurs, and that's what we have over here. And we know that E1 occurs, and we just need to find that E2 also occurs. So that's what we have over here. That is the outcomes where E1 and E2 occurs. Therefore, this formula over here gives us what we want. That is the probability that E2 occurs given E1 occurs is equal to probability of E2 intersection E1 divided by probability of E1. Let's do this problem. In a neighborhood, 40% of households subscribe to newspaper 1. Alright, and 20% subscribe to both newspaper 1 and 2. What is the probability that a household subscribes to newspaper 2 given that it subscribes to newspaper 1? So this is a clear instance of conditional probability. Pause the video, give it a try, and then let's do it together. Alright, we are back. I hope you have given it a try. Let's denote newspaper 1 as N1 and newspaper 2 as N2. Alright, now we need to find the probability that a household subscribes to newspaper 2 given that it subscribes to newspaper 1. So that is equal to P of N2 by N1, right? Because it's given that the household subscribes to newspaper 1. Now we know that P of N2 given N1 is equal to P of N2 intersection N1 divided by P of N1. Now what is the probability of N2 intersection N1? Let's think of that. And what is the probability of N1? Over here we are given that in this neighborhood 40% of households subscribe to newspaper 1. Therefore, probability of somebody subscribing to newspaper 1 is equal to 40% or 0.4. Alright, remember 40% is 40 by 100, that's equal to 0.4, right? And the probability that a household subscribes to both newspaper 1 and newspaper 2 is 20%, that's equal to 0.2. Therefore, the probability for a household to subscribe to newspaper 2 given that it subscribes to newspaper 1 is 0.2 by 0.4, which is equal to 1 by 2 or 50%. Let's do this question. The probability that it is Monday and that a worker is absent is 5%. There are 5 working days in a week. What is the probability that a worker is absent given that today is Monday? Alright, let's try to find out. Let's call event M as today being Monday and event A as the worker being absent. Now we need to find out probability of the worker being absent given that today is Monday, right? Alright, that's what's mentioned over here. Probability that a worker is absent given that today is Monday. We know that this expression over here is equal to probability of A intersection M divided by probability of M. This is equal to 0.05 divided by 0.2, right? Because it's mentioned that the probability that it is Monday and that the worker is absent is 5%. 5% is equal to 0.05. And because we have 5 working days, the probability that today is a Monday, given that it's a working day, because we will check for absence only on working days, would be 1 by 5, right? So probability of it being a Monday is equal to 1 by 5, 1 out of 5 working days, which is equal to 0.2. So the answer of P of A given M is 0.05 by 0.2, which is equal to 5 by 20 or 25 percentage.